Hey everybody, welcome to the Get Back to the Wrestling YouTube channel. I am Luke Giaconetti, one of the hosts of the Get Back to the Wrestling podcast. Got another video for you today. We're doing another toy unboxing, a little bit different than we have been doing. We've got a little bit more unusual toy to unbox here, and we got some surprises for that too. So we got a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. I am taking a look at the Masters of the WWE Universe. Finn Balor, the heroic Demon King. These have started showing up in Walmart, and I was able to find Finn. Actually, I found Finn on his own, and initially, so I'm going to open Finn. Since I bought Finn, I've actually found the rest of the first wave. I've also picked up the Grayskull Mania set, which has the Castle Grayskull style ring, as well as the for now exclusive John Cena and Terra Claus Triple H. But we're talking about Finn, who's a regular single-carded figure today. Now, a little background on myself. I'm born in 1980. I grew up with Masters of the Universe. I've got a lot of memories. I've still got pretty much all of my brother and I's Masters of the Universe toys when I was a kid. Watched the show. I remember that we did, in fact, see the live-action movie in the theater. So someone actually did go see that movie. And but I'm still a big Masters of the Universe fan. I remember when they did the revival. That was right, not that revival, the He-Man revival. That was right as I was finishing up school and right after that. So I remember watching that on Cartoon Network. Been a fan of that. I have a handful of those toys, but this the interesting thing about the Masters of the WWE Universe, besides the fact that they're, you know, a mashup line, which is, they've done a few of these, like the Ghostbusters one got a fair amount of attention, although frankly I never saw those in stores. And in fact, I've never laid eyes on any of those other than pictures online. What I think is interesting is that this is Mattel running with the Buck, the standard body, that is going to be used in the upcoming Masters of the Universe Origins toy line, which has been promised later in 2020. At San Diego Comic-Con last year, they did have a He-Man figure that was available that was this new body, and that's the exact same body that's being used on these Masters of the WWE Universe figures. And really, when you get right down to it, there's been a lot of like wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth that, oh, Masters of the WWE Universe, that's what killed retros, they replaced retros. I don't know whether that's true or not. I think the issue has always been with the retros is that once you cut steel for those, that's all you can do with them. Every time you introduced a new body, you had to cut new steel for that. Whereas here, I strongly suspect that these were always intended to be the Masters of the Universe figures, and the idea was that, hey, we can use that Buck and use these standard bodies for other things. We just need to do different heads and different deco and different accessories, and we can make another line out of it, which is why I think this line exists. I don't think this has anything to do with the retros. I know a lot of people are upset that the retros are on hiatus or gone or whatever. I've got a bunch of them upstairs. We've talked about some of them right here on this YouTube channel. I don't think the two are really all that related, other than, like I said, the kind of fan angst. But that notwithstanding, let's get into Finn Balor here. You can see the package. It does kind of remind me of the original Masters of the Universe packaging. The overall shape, the shape of the bubble especially, really looks like vintage Masters of the Universe. Colors are a little bit different. I always think of Masters of the Universe as red and blue. This is kind of a purple with a green in there. But the mashup Masters of the WWE Universe logo is very nice. I love the font on Finn Balor. That is very much the classic Mattel font. And you can see on the art here, we've got, it looks like Castle Grayskull, but it's also the ring. You can see the laser ropes for the ring, and it's exploding out. So very cool. I do like the little starburst. Says highly articulated for power posing, and from what I've seen of the Masters of the Universe Origins figures, that's going to be kind of the same branding that's going to be on those figures. So very nice. You can see again standard kind of Masters of the Universe style packaging with the figure front and center. What's interesting about these, this is more when we get to the back. So the back is, we can see it there, very much a throwback to the old Masters of the Universe card backs. It's a little bit different on the layout, but the broad strokes are there. It's got the character art on the top, and then the co-cells with the artwork of the characters on the back. That's, if you look, that's artwork. That's not studio pictures. and then the description of how the figure actually works. On a Masters of the Universe card back that I think of, this would have still been up top. This thing would have been running the side, and then it would have been a stack up, not a line of the co-cells. But otherwise, very, very close. Now, this is very odd. So, I got this at Walmart in Greenville, South Carolina. And so, what's very strange is that this package, you can take a look here. I don't know if we can really see that too well. It has a ton of different languages presented on it. It looks like international packaging, right? And to the point that up in this starburst, it says, mini comic included in every language I can think of except English. It doesn't actually say mini comic included in English. It says it in Italian, it says it in German, it says it in Spanish. This looks like Swedish. It's in Cyrillic. It's in a couple of different. There's no Asian language. These are all what we think of European or Eastern European languages. But there's no English, and it's the same here. It says, also available for the co-cells, but then has it in all these other languages. Now, I've seen other videos where these packages are only in English, and it says, character booklet included, and it has more information on the back, and it says Heroic Demon King, and it has a description. None of that stuff is on this. I don't know if those ones that I've seen on other videos are provided by Mattel. I don't know if different areas are getting different packaging. Like I said, this is South Carolina. I didn't buy these, in someplace near the border. I didn't buy these up in Canada or anything like that. This is in, not a direct center, but, we're in the middle of the U.S. here in South Carolina. We're just off to one side. But they're definitely international packaging. So, but the packaging, that notwithstanding, that's just kind of odd. I'm sure that it'll come out that, okay, certain ones got international and certain ones got domestic, whatever. The figure and the packaging the figure in the packaging looks fantastic, and it really does bring me back to Masters of the Universe. Because I am old enough to remember seeing Masters of the Universe toys actually on racks. It's funny, I vaguely remember, like, Star Wars Power of the Force figures being on racks in toy stores, but I really don't remember the original because that was, Return of the Jedi 1983. I was kind of really young then, right? But I remember seeing He-Man figures on the KB Toys racks or Toys R Us, so what have you. So let's get Finn open and let's take a look at him, okay? So, all right. There's our little mini comic, and we'll talk about that in a second. So let's get Finn out of his bubble here. I do like these weird shaped bubbles. Really does remind me of vintage. Although back in the day they were just thrown loose. They didn't have these inserts. So he's got a little rubber band holding up his feet into the bubble. Stand there, Demon King. Stands very nice on my kitchen table here. And we've got his accessories here in a bag as well. So let's get that out of here. Alright, so let me take a look at Finn. Let's take a look real quick at this mini comic. Now, again, you vintage Masters of the Universe fans, or maybe younger fans that are more familiar with it, Masters of the Universe toys always came, regular figures always came with a mini comic. I have a handful of these still. I think I only have two from my childhood. But they're very cool, and they did have a story that would feature, sometimes introduce the character that you just bought, so that you got an idea of what their personality was, good, evil, that kind of thing. And so I like that they've done this. I love the art here. Finn Balor as the demon, kind of fighting a demon monster, and you got the King of Kings, the Skull King, Triple H, looming above there. Now, what's very strange about this, so on the inside, we've got a little character profile. It says Finn Balor, Heroic Demon King. And you see we've got a one-page comic story. Now, you'll notice that, again, we'll bring it in here so we can see. It just says Heroic Demon King in all these different languages, like international packaging, right? And then here on our comic story, there's no dialogue. It's just art, okay? Now, again, I've seen video where these, in fact, this exact comic, that profile page, instead of having all of the different languages, actually has a little character profile for Finn Balor as the Heroic Demon King, and the story actually does have dialogue. So that is a little more disappointing to me than the packaging. that there's, you know, we're missing out on that character information. I don't know if these are on the website or anything like that. I haven't checked it. Mattel's website I haven't really messed with much, to be honest. So I don't know if that information's out there. I'm hoping that they generally are available with the full English if you're an English consumer. I mean, obviously, if you're international, that English is not going to help you very much if you don't read English. But, you know, for those of us who do read English, I would have liked to have gotten that. So that was a little disappointing. It's still so cool that they did the mini-comic, even without the dialogue and all that, like this one has. To me, that's just attention to detail that really amuses me as a Masters of the Universe fan to get that. And that still looks so cool. It really does look kind of like an old school one. So, and again, co-cell, yep, co-cell on the back, just like the old mini-comic. So, let's take a look at Finn here. You can see he's wearing his demon gear, and he's got his demon armor piece. So he's very posable. The waist, he's got swivels at the knee. And he's got swivels at the calf, and then, look at this, you can go front, back, and side to side on the ankles. That's pretty cool. Let's see, he's got universal joint there at the shoulder, and then a hinge and a swivel, and then universal wrists as well. Head is on a ball joint, so very posable, very cool. He's got on some armor here. He looks it's kind of like Beastman's armor. You know, Beastman's armor went over his head like that. This one actually does strap on in the back. And you can see this is kind of a softer, rubbery plastic. So you can undo it. Now you're saying, Luke, how do we get this off? Well, part of the Masters of the Universe Origins buck is that they are disassemblable, or swappable, or mashable, whatever you want to call them. So what we can do, so this is a real nice tight joint in his waist, but if we pull on it, it separates out. And then we can take off Finn's armor, and then put him back together, and voila. Now he could be either the Demon King without his armor, or he can be just regular wrestler Finn Balor. Now he's got these bracers on his wrists, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close if you want this type of muscular buff body type for Finn Balor. It's very cool, but this figure is really cool. Just holding it in my hand, it really does look and feel like an update of the classic Masters of the Universe. I really like the proportions. Look how jacked he is. Look at that. Look at those lats. Oh my God, look at him. Look at him. He's an animal. He's just so vascular. Looking very vascular today, Finn. You're looking great. So let's open up his accessories here, if I can find the seam on the tape. And we'll take a look at those. And then we'll put his armor back on, and we'll get him back into WWE Eternia mode. They're not kidding. They really got this taped on there, don't they? Yeah, we wouldn't want someone to, you know, slice open the package and steal out Finn Balor's little wrist things here while in the store. You know, we're just going to tear it. You know, I want to be neat, but I say, the hell with it. All right, so, okay, let's get these guys out here. So I do like that they include the accessories. Again, they could have just done with, just do the figures and not go on the full route, but I'm pretty sure every Masters of the Universe, so I do like that they do come with accessories, because I believe every single Masters of the Universe figure back in the day either came with an accessory, a gimmick, or both. So they did include the accessories. And so we've got these whips, and these are actually kind of a firm plastic, but they are a little bendy just because they're thin. They're not a rubbery plastic. And we've got a set of red and a set of black. And you can see they just little not snaps, but they just kind of go around his waist. So let's equip Finn as the Demon King here. So we're going to snap the waist apart again. And we're going to put his armor back on. Nope, doing it upside down. That's not going to help, Jack and Eddie. That's not going to get it done. All right, there we go. So we do that. We push, there's a little, maybe hard to see here, but there's a little slot, and there's a tab on the other piece. So it just tabs in there. And this is a kind of rubbery plastic, so it's very easy to work with. Okay, so we're going to take his legs, clip them back on. One of the things I've seen touted, not so much for the WWE figures, but for the straight Masters of the Universe Origins figures, is that this is going to be just great for the customizers, because you can disassemble these guys, not just at the... So one of the things I've seen, not so much for the WWE Masters of the Universe figures, but for the straight Masters of the Universe figures, is that because these pop apart, you can take the heads off, you can take the arms out, you can take the feet off. That they're kind of a customizer's line, and that's very easy to do custom. So we're going to put one on of each of these whips. You can see they just clip on to his wrist, nice and easy. And probably could put all of them on here, but you know, we're just going to leave them like that. So yeah, that's cool. So he can, you know, he can fight his other foes maybe as the heroic Demon King. So that's very cool. So again, if you want to go full future barbarian, you can do that. In fact, let's take a look. How does he match up here with He-Man? So this is the original He-Man. I don't have his power sword, but I've got his axe, and still works. So as you can see there, Finn is a little bit taller, and part of that is because their legs can straighten out as opposed to the vintage legs that were molded kind of in that crouching barbarian pose. But they're pretty close, and you know, he definitely could fit in, and I like it. It's a good scale. You can see there, put them back to back. They're, like I said, very close. Finn just a hair taller, just from the fact that his legs can straighten out, but certainly a similar aesthetic, and certainly a good update of that style with the physique and all that. So good job, He-Man. So let's, you know, I broke He-Man out, and I was thinking, you know, maybe there's some other what other Masters of the Universe stuff would he work with? You know, because you know, yeah, he's a wrestler, but he's still Masters of the Universe. So I got a couple of weapons here. So these are the halberd and the mace that came with Castle Grayskull. And you can take a look at Finn's hands. He's got one fist hand and one kind of open hand. So so let's see, can he hold these vintage weapons? Certainly looks like he can hold vintage weapons to me. Looks very good there with the halberd. How about the mace? Can we get the mace in? There you go. Look at that. So if you don't want to use the whips, and you really want the heroic Demon King as part of the heroic warriors on regular Eternia, maybe he can go through a portal or something, and he can wield some weapons. So after I got the weapons, I was thinking, oh, what else can, maybe he works with other accessories too. So since he was heroic Demon King, I decided to bring down Battle Cat. And let's see how he looks riding Battle Cat. That looks pretty good. He can fit right on there with Battle Cat. Here, there you go. You can see he looks very good there. Yeah, that's right to scale. Now, the nice thing about this is not only is it cool that your WWE figures can ride Battle Cat now, this means that if you've got a vintage Battle Cat lying around like I do, then that means your Masters of the Universe Origins figures are going to be able to ride Battle Cat. So when I was getting Battle Cat out, I said, you know, Battle Cat was actually belonged to my brother. I had Panther, you know, the evil one who was flocked, very nice. But I was like, you know, he's heroic, so he's not going to ride Panther. So who else? So I had, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't have Battle Cat. I had Stridor, you know, the half warhorse, half war machine. So let's see if we get Finn's legs in there. Yeah, he can ride into battle on Stridor as well. So that is very cool. These figures are fully compatible with the vintage Masters of the Universe line. I think that's really neat. And he doesn't look out of place up there. So that was very nice. So Stridor also works. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say that if you're a certain age, you remember that not only was this barbarian body used for Masters of the Universe, but it was also used for Remco for their AWA wrestlers. And so a lot of folks I know are excited for these just to get Remco-style figures of some modern guys and some Legends guys to go with their AWA figs. So I took advantage of the fact that my brother got me a Larry Zbyszko, Larry Legend here. And so we got Larry and Finn. And again, Finn stands a little bit taller just because of his legs, but these guys can certainly go together. They can certainly pose together. Very similar physiques. Let's take a look at the backs. Yeah, you can see. Up, turn straight. Larry Legend, there you go. So very similar in the backs. The trunks look very similar too. The boots and all that. So there's no reason that if you really want to do... Like, you know, I pose my Hasbros with my retros. If you want to pose your Masters of the WWE Universe figures with your Remcos, they'd fit right in. You could put them all in the same ring, and it would be, you know, an old school and new school type of display, like I said, like I do with the retros and the Hasbros. So thank you for your help, Mr. Larry Zabisco. So overall, I'm really impressed with this figure. I'm glad I've actually bought, as I said, the entire first wave. There are 4 figures in the first wave. We saw them on the co-sell. In addition to Finn Balor, we also have Sting and the Ultimate Warrior and the Skull King Triple H, who's actually wearing the long purple trunks. I'm guessing that's to be like a Skeletor type of thing. In addition, you can buy the Grayskull ring by itself. I would recommend, if you want the ring, buy the WrestleMania, the Grayskull Mania set instead. The reason for that is that ring, I think, is $20. The Grayskull Mania set is $30 at Walmart, and these are Walmart exclusives right now, so you have to go to Walmart or try to order them on their website. And if you buy that set, it's $30, and it comes with 2 figures. The figures are $15 a piece. So at first I wasn't going to buy it because I don't have any place to put the ring, but it's like I really wanted Terra Claus Triple H, I really wanted John Cena, and it's like, you know what, that's the same price as if they were single-carded. I can just take them out, and I can leave the ring boxed up. And actually, the way that they're on there is you can actually just open up the bubble and take the figures out if you want to leave the ring box. But so yeah, these are very cool. Again, I know a lot of people have a lot of angst about these. I think they're cool. I'm a Masters of the Universe fan. I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm very excited by these. I'm also excited now, more excited for Masters of the Universe Origins. I think it's going to be a cool line if you're into that, just seeing these bucks. But as a wrestling Masters of the Universe mashup, this is very cool. And I am eager to open up the rest of these, but I want to give you guys an idea of what you can expect from this line if you happen to find them at Walmart. So thank you very much for watching. You can check us out. Go to twotruefreaks.com. You can hear our podcast, Get Back to the Wrestling. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for the Get Back to the Wrestling group. We'd love for you to come and like our page and join our discussion there. You can also find us on Twitter at GBTTW Podcast. Please give us a follow, and we'd really appreciate it. We also use the hashtag Get Back to the Wrestling. If you like what you've seen here, please hit that subscribe button, leave comments. We really appreciate it. Every little bit helps out. Thank you again for watching, and until then, we'll see you at the matches.